Hi everyone, and welcome to this new update with me, Shruti. So in this video I want to speak a little bit about what's happening in our Ascension right now. If you're on my Facebook page, you might have seen that a few days ago I posted this article about the harmonization of our Ascension, and that's basically what I want to speak about in this video. A little more about it. So what's going on is that on our ascension path over the past few years, we've been through many different phases, and this year 2015, as you know, was an 8th universal year. So it's, many people called it the year of the magician, the year of abundance. So what we were really working through in this year is how to live our abundance and how to kind of like this energy of bringing heaven to earth. So not just knowing ourselves as abundant and knowing what we are at a soul level, but really living that in the here and now as well. So with this, what was happening, especially in the summer months of this year, was that we were really shown where in our lives we are not fully embracing balance, and we are not coming from our I am presence. And after that, it was a whole process of balancing things out and really embracing that, and just living in a new way. So what happened was that many of those structures that were supported before, they kind of fell away. So we found that over the summer months, maybe some things fell away that when they were there before, they worked just fine. So for example, maybe you focused more in one area of your life. So for instance, maybe you were really devoted to your service, and you really put all of your devotion there, but you did it at the cost of your personal relationships, and you weren't really present in your personal relationships, or vice versa. Or maybe it had to do with the physical body. Let's say you weren't nourishing your body with knowing that it is the sacred temple that it is for the light of spirit to flow through you, and you just didn't give it the proper nutrition and diet that it needed. And maybe for a while that worked, and maybe over the past few years that worked, but maybe more recently it started affecting other areas of your life, like you got sick and it affected your work, etc. So this is kind of how it was happening for all of us. And because ascension is not just about those qualities that we are inherently good in and are strong at, but it's about living our whole tree of life. So when we know ourselves as not just at one level, but from the wholeness of what we are, then only then we can bring that into the physical, and our physical life also becomes this more wholesome reflection of us. So that's what's happening right now, is that we are really becoming these more wholesome beings. And how this is happening, especially now, I've been speaking about this on my Facebook page. Is that there have been a lot of solar flares, and there have been CMEs, so the sun is really active. And what's happening is that last night also I had this really deep activation. And these activations, when they happen, they come from the levels of the universal Christ. So it's like your angels and your guides will be assisting you through this process. And it's not just about receiving some soul codes, but it's much deeper than that when we are open to it. And we can become this just this vortex, this space for that high voltage light for that flows through us and just grounds through us or activates through us. And for me, this is what was happening at a really deep level, and I just had my eyes closed, and I was just embracing it, and it went on for over half an hour. So you might also be having similar initiations, and sometimes while they're happening we don't really know exactly what is being integrated, or we have glimpses of it, but the whole picture hasn't yet come together. So of course that happens with time, because first we need to receive the light, then it integrates through the body, and then there's a synthesis that happens. So what I want to say is that really work with this light, the Christ light that's flowing through us now. And of course it's Christ light is always available to us, but there's certain gateways where there's like a bigger influx of this. So that's those are the gateways where it's kind of like a golden opportunity where we can really activate this at a new level. So if you are feeling some ascension symptoms, because when Christ light, when it flows through us, it can be really fiery, and I was feeling it on the back of my neck and in the spinal column, because when it's flowing through us, it's again really these fine high vibrational frequencies, and we can kind of heat up a bit, and it can cause some aches, or it can just feel uneasy in the body when it's flowing through. So again, just center yourself and take deep breaths, because your soul knows what it's doing. And the reason that we experience these kind of discomforts in the body is because while you are this pillar and you're channeling this light as part of your service, your body is also at the same time expanding to more light. So you are kind of doing all of it at once. So it's just your body's way of opening up to more light. So this Christ light is returning to all of those areas in our body and subsequently in our life where we kind of shied away from it. So like I was saying before, some aspects of our life were maybe more strong and others were not. And while maybe this was okay in the beginning of our ascension process, in the beginning years, now we are really moving to a new level. So so this Christ light, it's kind of like pushing us in a new direction. Today's guidance on my Facebook page was about the Seraphim, creation angels, and the Christ flame. So, Spirit was reminding me about how these creator beings, how they create, is through this, just this innate passion for creation. It's like this deep devotion to service. And it's not as if, because we are also made in the image and likeness of these beings. So it's not as if we have to think about what to create, it's just how we flow. Because once we know what our essence is, what our frequency is, then how can you be anything but that? So we tend to forget this, in at various stages of our life, and especially all of those areas where we feel stuck, or we feel where we are just not submitting to that ease of life. Because along our path we can feel like something is not working out. Maybe we don't have the abundance that we need. There isn't like an inflow of let's say resources or cash that we needed. But any kind of resource, anything that we need, it's always created from something within us. And that is what that flame is, that innate flame. Anything that we attract in the physical, first we need to create it from within, and that is how it comes to us in the physical. So it's really important for us to be able to work with our own inner flame, and how this inner flame is ignited is through this passion. So so let's say in your life you are feeling stuck in some area, like I was saying, about money, let's say. Then what usually happens is that we are resisting something. So we, the lower mind can have its own ideas of what it wants to create, and perhaps what what is needed in the moment is not for that to happen, but there's something else that needs to be birthed through us. And when we have a resistance to this, to just embracing the unknown, that we don't know the details of how it's going to play out, what the end result is, and we want all of those details before we even begin on that path, then this is why we feel stuck, because we are not submitting to just the ease of life. And I was going through this yesterday and the day before myself, because I was trying to make this video, the one that I'm making now, and I came here and things just weren't flowing for some reason. There were some disturbances or something or the other kept happening, and then finally when I did fully make the video and I went home and I checked it, the focus was completely off, and so I couldn't upload that video. And that was for a reason, because some more integration needed to happen, and there was some more information that needed to come through so that before I could make this video. So this is kind of how it is, when we are living as masters, then we really need to be able to also embrace that we are living in the physical world. And this is again something else that is also happening, because our ascension is becoming very physical. So some of the initiations also that we are going through are about where we are not embracing our physicality. So all of those areas in which we are still judging ourselves, for some of those aspects that come up that are still not fully within the light, either within ourselves or within others. And also just in situations like I was describing, something is not flowing, and you are feeling something within you, and it really wants to be birthed. It's like you're pregnant and you are on the verge of giving birth to something, but it just won't flow. And when that happens, it just means that it's not yet time, and maybe there's something else that needs to be done before that. And it's not really about doing something else, it's just stay within that place, that place that makes you feel agitated or not at ease. Don't run away from it, and don't take it out by because we can sometimes also have addictions as well to various things, and this is how we then compensate in a way when we are not getting something that we want. So these are of course all ways of running away from the self, and instead we need to still be in that space that feels uneasy and just stay there. And you can just close your eyes, stay in that space and ask for what wants to come through. If something that you wanted is not flowing through in that moment, then just close your eyes and ask, well, what does want to come through at this moment? And that is how then we become more intimate with ourselves and closer to that original passion of our soul, through which we just create effortlessly. So basically that's all that I wanted to say today. And let me see if there's anything else. There's also a lot of soul codes that are flowing through right now, and these have to do with our soul frequency. And again, we might already know a lot about our tree of life and our soul codes, but again, where we weren't embracing that ease of life and we weren't allowing that inner flame, the Christ light to flow through us, those areas are coming into synthesis. So you will be getting these grounded codes that you needed, that brings everything into this harmonious balance. This time we're really feeling the support of our angels and our masters and the creation angels, who are bringing this message of remember who you truly are and remember your true nature and why you are here. Because we can often get caught up in the stress and just create these things that are not needed. And our true nature is just to create from that space of joy and to be in this bliss. And that is how we live from this space of just pure devotion to service. Because as masters, we have to learn to just surrender to spirit and just through that source point field. So I hope that this video was helpful. I just wanted to mention some things that are going on, because obviously there's a lot that's going on, and overall how I feel it is just this harmonization that's taking place, where because our ascension is becoming more physical, and so when all of these areas, when they are balanced out and there's Christ light that is flowing through all of our being, and even those areas that we rejected it before, then we just move into a new octave of being, and then everything that we create in the physical as well is also within this higher octave. So that's all that I want to say. And in the end, I don't know if you can see, but I have on a necklace that I made. I have a new Etsy store. It's called White Goddess Creations, and that's goddess with a single D. And I will be putting it in the store. There's already another necklace called Soul Purity with aquamarine that I made before, but this one is really special. It's got imperial topaz, and I really love this stone. And this one is Angelic Creator. It has the essence of creating with the creation angels, so it has the colors of gold and peach. So if you like it, please check it out. I will post the links below this video, so you can directly go to the link from there and enjoy your beautiful experience of expansion and the beautiful quotes that are coming in now.